Hi everybody. In today's class we are going to discuss the chemical digestion of food. Chemical digestion of food. Okay. So far we have completed the alimentary canal and structures. Alimentary canal and structures and associated gland known as that liver and pancreas. In today's video we are going to discuss the chemical digestion of food. Here we will be discussing about the digestive juices as well as the enzymes that are involved in digestion. So our topic today is chemical digestion. Okay, chemical digestion. Okay, digestion normally is of two types. One is physical digestion and the other one is chemical digestion. In physical digestion, what happens? In physical digestion, the breakdown of food into smaller pieces is physical digestion, whereas chemical digestion involves the breakdown of complex food substances such as carbohydrates, fats and proteins. Okay, so the breakdown of carbohydrates, fats and proteins by the involvement of enzymes, then it is going to be the chemical digestion, right? So today we are going to see the chemical breakdown of chemical digestion. Okay, so here it is. Chemical digestion means the breakdown of complex forms of carbohydrates, fats and proteins, into the form, okay, so the breakdown of complex forms of carbohydrates, fats and proteins into simpler form, okay, so that all the cells they can absorb this simple form of food. Okay, so that all the cells they can absorb the simplest form of food. So this is how chemical digestion takes place. Okay, and it involves what? Enzymes. Okay, by the involvement of enzymes. Okay, by the involvement of enzymes. And here we will be talking about the digestive juices and enzymes. By the involvement of digestive juices and enzymes, if the breakdown of carbohydrates, fats and proteins takes place, then that is going to be the chemical digestion. Okay, so here, okay, in our alimentary canal, okay, there are various parts, right? Okay, just like mouth, okay, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, and the associated glands like liver and pancreas. So all this alimentary canal and the glands, okay, they are going to release the specific enzymes that are involved in the digestion of carbohydrates, fats and proteins. Okay, so the specific enzymes that are released from the digestive part of our body we are going to discuss now. Okay, now let us start from the mouth. Okay, from the mouth, the digestion that starts in the mouth. So we know that mouth is a part of alimentary canal. So mouth secretes one enzyme, okay, secretes saliva. Mouth secretes saliva. Okay, in that saliva many compositions are there, right? But we are going to discuss only the enzymes that are involved in the digestion. So saliva is having what? Salivary amylase. The enzyme known as salivary amylase. So this salivary amylase is going to convert this starch into maltose. So conversion of starch into maltose takes place in the mouth itself. So salivary amylase is the important enzyme that is present in the saliva and it is secreted in the mouth, first part of the alimentary canal. So this salivary amylase, what it does, it converts starch into maltose. Okay, it is not converting starch into glucose, it is converting starch into maltose. Okay, so the action of salivary amylase is what? Conversion of starch into maltose. Okay, conversion of starch into maltose, and this maltose is finally converted into glucose by the action of maltase. It takes place in the small intestine. So complete digestion of carbohydrates, fats and proteins are going to be in the small intestine. So here in the mouth itself, the starch is converted into maltose by the help of amylase. So digestion of carbohydrate started where? In the mouth. It started in the mouth. So starch is a form of carbohydrate. So the starch is converted into maltose by the help of enzyme known as amylase. By the help of enzyme known as amylase. Okay. And next esophagus, it do not secrete any enzyme. Okay. So we will see the stomach part. Okay. Stomach is a part of alimentary canal, and it is going to secrete what? It is going to release gastric juice. For example, we take gastric juices. Okay, in this gastric juices, okay, we have what? HCl, hydrochloric acid. Okay, first digestive juice, HCl, that is hydrochloric acid, and the next one is the inactive protein digesting enzymes known as Pepsinogen. Okay, they are in active form, but they are going to digest what? Protein. Pepsinogen and mild lipase. Okay, HCl, Pepsinogen and mild lipase. Here, okay, let me shift this down. Pepsinogen and prorenin. These two are proteolytic enzymes. They are proteolytic enzymes. Proteolytic enzymes means what? They are going to break down the proteins. Okay, they are going to digest proteins. So proteolytic enzymes. These two are proteolytic enzymes. And the third one, what I said, is mild lipase. So we know that this is lipase is fat digesting enzyme, but here it is not finding any good condition to digest the fats because it cannot work in acidic medium. So it do not find a proper condition to digest fats. Okay, so it is having no function here. Okay, it is having no function. But these two are proteolytic enzymes. They are going to break down the proteins. Now HCl is going to activate these two enzymes. And this pepsinogen is going to be converted into pepsin by the acid known as HCl. And prorenin is going to get converted into renin. Okay, is going to get converted into renin. So pepsin and renin, they are proteolytic enzymes. Okay, proteolytic enzymes. So next from stomach, the first intestine that starts is what? Duodenum. duodenum. So in duodenum, what all secretions are going to be poured? We are going to discuss now. We will be discussing now. We will be discussing. Okay. So in stomach, HCl, prorenin and pepsinogen, they are produced. So let us quickly write it here. Stomach releases what? Pepsinogen, prorenin and HCl. Okay, HCl. Now next we are going to discuss what? Duodenum. But the food that we put into our mouth, is going to trigger the secretion of saliva. Okay, the food that we put in our mouth is going to trigger the salivary gland to produce what? Saliva, to release saliva. Okay, so the saliva is going to soften the food, right? It is going to soften the food, and the tongue is going to roll the food and makes it bolus. And the bolus is passed through the esophagus and reaches to the stomach. And from the stomach it is going to go to the duodenum. Okay, it is going to go to the duodenum. That means in duodenum what happens? The chyme. Why I am saying chyme? Chyme is semi-digested food. Okay, it is semi-digested food. Okay, as I have told you, complete digestion takes place in this small intestine. So stomach is not going to digest completely. So it is known as chyme. Okay, semi-digested food. Okay, this semi-digested food, when it is present in the duodenum, okay, it is going to trigger the gallbladder to release bile and the pancreas to release pancreatic juice. Okay, so starting of this small intestine is what? Duodenum. Next is duodenum, followed by stomach, mouth, followed by stomach, and it is duodenum. So in duodenum, what happens? It is, okay, the secretions comes from gallbladder. Okay, what is that secretion? It is known as bile. So what is the function of bile? It is to break down the large globules of fats into smaller globules, right? That process is known as emulsification of fat. Okay, so we will have two secretions in the duodenum. First one is bile from gallbladder, and the next one is pancreatic juice. Okay, pancreatic juice. In pancreatic juice, different secretions are present, right? For example, if we see the NEET foundation textbook, there it is written amylopsin. Okay, that means what? Pancreatic amylase. Then Trypsin. This means the pancreatic lipase. Okay, and the trypsin, the protein digesting enzyme. These three are the secretions from the pancreas. So in pancreatic juice we find amylopsin, trypsin and trypsin. So amylopsin's function is what? Okay, amylopsin means it is pancreatic amylase. Okay, here we saw that salivary amylase is going to convert the starch into maltose. Okay, the extra starch which is not digested in the mouth, is going to get digested into the small intestine, and this secretion is poured into the small intestine. So this amylase is going to convert the extra starch present in the small intestine. So again, starch is going to get converted into maltose. That means here we are talking about extra starch. So by the help of what? This amylopsin. Amylopsin. Amylopsin is the enzyme that converts the extra starch into the maltose. Next one is what? Trypsin. Okay, trypsin. So here bile, what it does? Here it does what? Emulsification. Emulsification of fats. So that emulsified fats are converted into fatty acids and glycerol. So this trypsin helps to convert that emulsified fats into glycerol and fatty acids. So this is the enzyme that converts the emulsified fats into glycerol and fatty acid. So this is not new to us, we have discussed already. Okay, next is the trypsin. Trypsin, what it does? It converts the proteins into amino acids, proteins into polypeptides, from polypeptides into amino acids, right? So this is the enzyme that is digesting proteins. So these three enzymes, okay, they are poured into the duodenum, commonly called as pancreatic juice. Okay, pancreatic juice, and from the gallbladder it is bile juice. Okay, so next part we are going to see is the restal part of the small intestine, what they are going to release. Okay, what they are going to release. Okay, as I have told you, the small intestine is the site for complete digestion. Small intestine is the site for complete digestion. Okay, we need to know what all the secretions are produced in the intestine. Okay, intestinal glands, they are going to produce the secretions known as maltase. Enzyme that is found in the intestine, intestinal juice, is known as maltase, and the next one is lactase. Okay, and the next one is fructase. Okay, and the next one is fructase, and the next one is fructase. Okay, so it is not fructase, it is sucrase. Okay, sucrase. These three enzymes are produced in the small intestine. Now this enzyme is going to convert maltose, okay, maltose into glucose, and this lactase is going to convert lactose into glucose and galactose. That means what? These are simple sugars. And this sucrase is going to convert sucrose into glucose plus fructose. That means small intestine is the site of complete digestion, and these are the three important digestive enzymes that we are discussing. So these three enzymes, they are going to convert the complex form of carbohydrates into simple form. Okay, maltose is going to convert into glucose, lactose is going to convert into glucose and galactose, and sucrose is going to convert into glucose and fructose. That means the digestion of carbohydrates is finally forming what? Simple sugars. Okay, simple sugars, all these are simple sugars. These sugars are only going to be absorbed into our body. So this is carbohydrate digestion. Okay, carbohydrate digestion. And the next two digestion that takes place in the small intestine is protein and the fats. Okay, protein and the fats. Now we will discuss the protein and the fat digestion. Okay, so we saw that carbohydrate digestion in the small intestine, and now the protein digestion and the fat digestion. Okay, we will move quickly. So protein is going to convert into polypeptides by the enzyme known as trypsin. So in intestine, what is present? Trypsin is also present. Okay, and this polypeptide is going to convert into the amino acids. Okay, by the enzyme known as erepsin. By the enzyme known as erepsin, and it is also known as invertase. Okay, invertase means what? In this reaction, that amino acids also can convert into polypeptides. Okay, that's why it is invertase. So erepsin is the enzyme, trypsin is the enzyme for what? For the digestion of proteins. And the last one is the fat digesting enzyme known as lipase. Okay, fat digesting enzyme known as lipase. It is going to convert fatty acids and glycerol. So all this whatever we have discussed are very important. Okay, are very important in your examinations like SLC examinations. All this chemical digestion. Okay, they will ask questions from this. So it's better you take note of this. Okay, thank you students. Have a nice day.